Hello! Welcome. I need to turn this off. Yes, okay. Alrighty. This is the finals, as apparently everyone else has disappeared. But we're gonna have Terran Lord versus Lanfear for this best of 5. And our first game will be on 16-bit. LE. 16-bit features an in-base natural, but being a TVT, that may not have much effect. Anyways, let me introduce the players and we will get underway. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map as the orange Terran, it is PsiX Lanfear. And in the opposing corner, as the green Terran, also representing Psionic Aftermath, it is Terran Lord. So, I guess the primary thing about 16-bit is that it may, it's a mirror matchup, so both players can do the exact same thing should they choose. But I think, the map by design almost encourages greedy play from people, in that they may just decide to take a fast Nexus. Looks like Nexus. Oh my goodness, I'm not a Protoss player at all. But it looks like both of them have gone for the relatively standard opener. Terran Lord has actually gone double gas, so we're gonna see what type of early aggression he has in mind for this TVT. I can't say I'm terribly familiar with TVT, but I know that it's relatively common to open double gas and go for some sort of pressure off of that. I think, though, given the map, that may prove a little bit difficult. It's a narrow choke into the main, and there's no reason why there would be an expansion on the low ground. Lanfear is going to go with a standard Reaper expand, and when I say standard, I mean standard across all matchups. Not that it's necessarily the most standard in TVT. I'm not really sure what the most standard is in TVT, just because there's a lot more variety. I suppose it's the standard macro opening, I suppose, even still. Terran Lord gonna look to get a second Reaper and some Cyclones. I imagine he'll be pushing out with those Cyclones as soon as he has, was it 3 Cyclones is the magic number? I forget. Lanfear is gonna keep his 2 Reapers at home, as he's expecting to greet some sort of early pressure. Not that this 16-bit actually reminds me a little bit of, the decoration, reminds me a little bit of, what's that movie, Tron? Reapers are going to slip by and get into that mineral line, see if they can pick off an SCV. They will get 1, maybe? Yeah, it looks like they got 1. from the gas, but they're gonna die in the process. Or 2, actually, so I don't know. Is 2 SCVs really worth it? I'm not so sure. We do have a drop loading up for Terran Lord. And, I mean, I guess they did get some scouting in that process. The army of Lanfear is moving out now. The Reapers will spot this drop, but I'm not sure Lanfear realized that he saw it. He's still moving across the map, and this drop is gonna unload in the natural. Uh-oh. Lanfear is still not reacting quite yet. Okay, he does pull his SCVs after losing 6 of them. His army is still on the wrong side of the map. He's gonna lose a supply depot as well. And his Marines are going to come over, but Terran Lord just picks up and runs away. Behind this, he's gonna try and put on some counter pressure, but there's a Liberator here, and I don't see a oh, that's a good lock on. Okay, lost vision. Bye. Tank is here. Go home. Drop does come back in, and it will find itself some Marines. Good micro coming out of Terran Lord to save his Cyclones, and this is snowballing a little bit too much for Lanfear. I mean, he's stabilized, I guess, but worker deficit is 8 SCVs in favor of Terran Lord. And the Liberator is going to, actually, it can just come and siege this natural, and the Cyclone can drop again, and the harass will continue at that point. Behind this, there is a tank out for Terran Lord, as we already discovered. The missile turret is going up, but it's not going to complete before the Liberator shoots down the SCV. That Cyclone is going to drop back in. It's going to shell away at these SCVs, but it will be forced to pick up. Liberator does fall, and Lanfear has held again, I guess. But it did cost him a couple SCVs. All in all, supply has really swung in Terran Lord's favor, and he's gonna line up for a push on the potential 3rd, which is not quite done yet. It's gonna have to be floated, or, well, Lanfear wants to float it down, but he won't be able to if the army is camped right outside. There is a medevac drop, and it's gonna fly right into these. Oh. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, the interception. The Vikings. Oh. So, Terran Lord takes game 1 in very convincing fashion. Very unfortunate flight path. Oh, man. Painful Vikings. Okay, we're gonna get Catalyst for our next map. I'm Xenodactyl, and I am casting now that I have died in the semifinals, you know. usual usual stuff. Okay. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of the map as the orange Terran, representing PsiX. It is Lanfear. And in the opposing corner, taking game 1, it is the green Terran, Terran Lord. You know, actually, this is something about building placement that I noticed Terran Lord does in his TVT, and I don't know any other Terrans off the top of my head that actually wall like this. I'm sure he has a reason why he autos into this. Maybe Hellion run-bys are something he does not want to deal with. But I see a lot more Terrans playing the way that Lanfear does in this matchup, where their first 1 or 2 supply depots blocks the Reaper ledge, and their barracks is in a pulled back location. I think this is safer against like cyclone openings, which is probably more common. But actually, Terran Lord, oh okay, he's gonna block with the factory, which works just fine. He's protected on all fronts, I suppose. He's just has some vulnerable supply depots. And again, we see the Reaper expand coming out of Lanfear, as with game 1, and it looks like it's going to be the same opening from Terran Lord, that double gas into Reaper Cyclone. Oh. Did he get a starport this early last time? I think he did. Yeah, how else would the... Yeah, okay, it's just the 1-1-1. I just wasn't paying attention as much last game. So, Reapers are going to move out again for Terran Lord. I don't think they're going to be able to get as much damage as they did last time. I think instead they're going to have to be married up with those Cyclones for aggression later on, as the Reaper ledge is closed off and there are 2 Reapers of Lanfear right here at the front. Grenade is going to go down, and actually he's going to get a Reaper, so that's not bad. Okay, he saves his low. I don't know. Reapers repair so fast, I'm not sure how much health it was on. But, oh, that was a nice maneuver, getting that first Reaper. His own Cyclones are going to swing in. I'd like to see the Cyclone drop actually before the Reapers. Oh, he's gonna throw the grenade. Okay, he does run away with said Reapers. And that drop is going to come in again. Can we get a boost into the main, please? Going once, going twice. Yes, there's the boost. It's gonna focus down Stim. And are those Reapers still around? I don't see the Reapers. He does get the Stim at least. Could have sent those Reapers in, like, to harass as like multi-prong, but maybe he did and I missed them, because I think they're dead. Yeah, they're dead, but I could have... Oh, I guess he sent them in right before he dropped. There is a missile turret, so he should be careful with this end of mine. Yeah, you do not want to poke in there, but he can get these supply depots from the low ground. That's nice. Okay. lose his high ground vision. That is burning Lanfear. You need a repair if that's ever going to be saved. Okay, Lanfear is actually not going to get the save. The idea was there! The idea was there, but it was not to be. Just a little bit too slow on the SCV pull. Just a hair. A lot of unfortunate breaks for Lanfear that in this series. Like running straight into the Vikings last game. But Liberator is out. These Cyclones are still alive. Okay, Liberator is probably going to swing around to the natural. Lanfear is being distracted by these two Cyclones, and oh, Liberator is just not quite there yet. Okay, never mind. Behind this, we are going to see that Viking Siege Tank Marine composition coming out of Terran Lord, just that standard bio with air supremacy. Really something that is prioritized in a lot of TVT these days. Whoever has air superiority can push, since they don't have to be wasting scans. Liberator is trying to siege up again. Lock-on is good, so it will go down, but not before taking out some SCVs. Oh wow, very nice. Just pulls right out of vision. Gonna pick off one more SCV. And possibly fly away. They're just gonna stay there then. Okay. Why not? It's not under any threat right now. Lanfear is also gone bio. That's to be expected, I suppose. And Terran Lord is pushing out across the map. He does have these two Vikings kind of running ahead of the army, but they will swing around and set up at this third. Oh my. I do not like this for Lanfear. He is way out of position, and this CC may very well go down. The stim is gonna go oh, no stim. But he does get the CC. He loses all his tanks, does Terran Lord. So Lanfear is going to sort of hold. I mean, he doesn't have army. Terran Lord does, but Terran Lord's not going to risk it, because he doesn't know what's over there. Like, he could use a scan and see that there's nothing there and just, like, trade out for SCVs. Like, he doesn't have the DPS to kill the orbital before the reinforcements of Lanfear would arrive, but he's just gonna play it safe, go home, take his third, you know, get back to macro. Nothing too fancy. He's gonna get a scan off, see the SCV going to the third location, as well as the Marines. He actually misses, like, most of the Marines, but he knows it's bio, he knows there's no tank out. I mean, he knew it was bio long before that scan. I don't think we're gonna see mech out of either of these players, actually. Like, I would be very surprised if Terran Lord went to mech. And Lanfear does not strike me as the type of person to play mech in a TVT. Maybe a TVZ, I don't know. As it is, Terran Lord is going to spot the army of Lanfear, and Lanfear is going to kind of change his mind, go home as a result of that scan. Terran Lord is going to swing around to the third, which is just about completing. He does have the superior siege tank count and the Viking numbers, so he's going to get right on top of this army. He gets the tank, and I think this is probably game. Lanfear is hanging on for dear life, and he has a tank. So, I mean, like, a tank and some miracle engagement is always like a possibility, but supply is drastically in favor of Terran Lord, who has superior marine, superior tank count. Actually, the Viking count is in favor of Lanfear, so in theory he does have more vision, but these clumped up tanks are taking significant damage. They trade a tank out 1 for 1. Viking count is still here. Actually, they're not. Okay, no more Vikings. Advantage neutralized. As it is, Lanfear is trying to make his third again, but there's not a whole lot going for Lanfear. There might be some miracle he can create still, but he's working on a dream and a prayer. Okay, this is actually really nice. He's gonna get on top of all those Marines, and now suddenly this tank is exposed. He's gonna pick up his Marines, drop on that tank, and Lanfear he's clawing his way back into this situation. But behind this, the macro engine. The train is coming, and I don't think Lanfear is going to stop this. As long as Terran Lord does not engage up a choke, he has way too much bio. Lanfear is going to go for a counterattack. I'm pretty sure he knows that Terran Lord is coming. Like, he should have seen the army, I would think. But, I don't think it matters. Oh, okay, he didn't see it. He's coming back. Terran Lord has secured himself phenomenal positioning at the natural. There's no way this returning army is going to be able to clean this up, and Lanfear is going to lose everything. And that will be game. Waiting on Lanfear for his map pick, and we should be underway. Okay, we're gonna get lost and found for our third map as Lanfear's pick. I kind of like this pick selection for Lanfear. He's picking the newer maps, which between Lanfear and Terran Lord, I would say that Terran Lord is favored. So, like, Lanfear, he's not changing anything about his playstyle, but by picking these maps, he's at least giving himself this, like, okay, I may not be able to beat this guy on a map that he's comfortable with, but maybe if it's on a new map, maybe I get a lucky engagement. Maybe he hasn't figured out his pathing to the extent he would like, and in that sense the newer map may serve as a basic advantage to Lanfear. or at least level the playing field a little bit. All that said, let me introduce the players. Spawning in the northeast as the Orange Terran, down 2 games. Can he save himself from a sweep? It is Lanfear. And in the southwest as the Green Terran, on a reign of terror, it is PsiX Terran Lord. So this is match point for Lanfear. I was gonna say we might see a cheese, but this is at home, so I'm thinking he's just gonna play standard again. I think we're just gonna see a repeat of game 1 and 2 with modifications to their builds to try and anticipate their opponent's movements a little bit better. I will say that between game 1 and game 2, Lanfear did survive longer, and he did a much better job of, like, identifying where he needed to be in order to defend Terran Lord. Terran Lord, he won both games, but game 2, I would say, was closer. Like, never mind the Viking interception, just the fact that Terran Lord was, like, traded out his army on 2 separate occasions. Yes, he macroed well behind it. It was like, it really didn't matter. This Reaper from Terran Lord looks orange to me at first. It is definitively green, but zoomed out, I was slightly confused. What was I talking about before I was distracted by the Strange Reaper? I mean, Terran Lord's macro has been a beast. Terran Lord's macro has been on point. He's been a beast through that. And I just, like, Lanfear is doing better at defending these pokes, but I don't know how he's going to compete with the macro engine of Terran Lord. Good Cyclone movement, going to intercept these, well, mostly intercept the Reapers. One still does get through. It's not going to be able to get any kills as it has to run from the 2 Reapers of Lanfear. It might not escape, and indeed Lanfear does catch it, so really strong opening from Lanfear here. With that, he's going to push out across the map. He should be mindful that there's going to be a double Cyclone drop soon. He's seen that every game, and there's no reason that that should stop happening. Lanfear is going to come at this natural. There, he will get a Marine, too. Actually, suddenly, he's putting on some really good pressure. This CC may have to be cancelled, and indeed it is. The drop from Terran Lord is going to unload, pick off the Marines in kind, and the SEVs are trading out against the Cyclones. One does fall, but it cost 8 SEVs, so... Oh! Oof. Okay. Nearly losing that Cyclone, or not. The Cyclone does fall, and Lanfear will have to go home. Cyclone from Terran Lord is going to come back in the dropship. Siege tank will secure the low ground, and Terran Lord's natural is almost done. So a really good opening from Lanfear so far this game. I think he's a lot happier with this position. Obviously losing those 8 SCVs is a bit unfortunate, but at least he was able to deny the CC, and worker count is in favor of Lanfear after all that, since he can produce them 2 at a time, whereas Terran Lord still has to land his CC. Terran Lord is looking for openings. He's going to push in with his Cyclone, pick off a supply depot, pull right back out. Lanfear is going to get on top of this tank. He will get it, but the other tank will shoo away these forces. It's really interesting. Like, it feels like Terran Lord has presented Lanfear with riddle, and Lanfear is trying to answer the riddle, but there's like layers to this, and so he gets to he approaches the early stage a certain way. He's not gonna change his build. He's just going to make these tweaks, make these modifications as to his unit positioning, and that's really a really great way to play StarCraft. There's no reason to throw out a build just because it doesn't work. There's obviously an answer within the build. It's just a question of what is that answer. Now, obviously some builds may be stronger against others, but as long as it is a actual build. Alright, this is actually very bad. Lanfear is out of position as Terran Lord is knocking on this natural base. I don't think he was expecting this, but Terran Lord has identified that things are a little bit critical, and he's going to put on some pressure. With this, he's kind of set up this contain on Lanfear. I don't think Terran Lord needs to do anything more. If he can get this tank, that would be nice, but otherwise, just keeping his units where they are right now, he's going to be able to macro very nicely, whereas Lanfear is going to struggle to get out of his base. Lanfear has loaded up 2 medevacs, and he's going to look to drop as a means to force Terran Lord to go home. Viking count is there for Terran Lord to protect that Liberator. And these 2 medevacs are going to unload on the 3rd. There is a siege tank at home, and it will siege up. But this 3rd may be lost, as the Marines have a lot more mobility than that tank. It will fall. Marines from Terran Lord are coming down, but there's no medevacs with them, so they're just going to get picked off as well. 6 SCVs falling for Terran Lord. That Liberator is finally cleaned up, and Viking still alive for Terran Lord. Good save by the Marines. Drop is gonna come in on the tank, and suddenly Terran Lord's production is in trouble. These Marines have been really paying for themselves, but I don't think this is actually enough. Like, where is Lanfear's on 1 base? He can't break this contain. Yes, he gets the Viking, finally. That's gonna give him some air dominance, but like 3 SCVs, or 3 Marines, it's gonna take forever to eat through all of this. A tank is out now, and 2 Marines, 4 Marines. Terran Lord has cleaned up this counter-aggression, and now what? Well, good siege tank position, going to get one of the tanks, but he still can't move down this ramp. The moment he moves down this ramp, Terran Lord just, like, shells him, and oh, okay, this is nice. Lanfear is actually going to expand. Like he's gonna forgo his natural expansion as he's sending it. Okay, he sees that Terran Lord has left, not wanting to lose his army, and take his normal natural, and the mules are just gonna come down at this what would be fourth. Well, maybe fourth. How you choose to expand on this map is still open to interpretation, as we're pretty early in the season. So, all in all, at the end of the day, Lanfear is ahead on supply overall. He has more workers than Terran Lord, somehow. I guess having 3 CCs really allows you to pump out those SCVs. So it was really critical that he picked off the CC from Terran Lord, given the contain that he was in. So I guess this is a pretty okay position for Lanfear, all things considered. Like, it looked really scary there at certain times, but I suppose his 16 Marines got enough damage done, namely in that CC being picked off. Terran Lord is going to try to get some pressure done. I don't think you want to be sending SCVs to your third like this, and indeed, Terran Lord does see the trailing SCV, and he will find this third, and suddenly, Lanfear's advantage may be cleaned up. Scan does go down for Terran Lord to see if the army is coming to intercept him. He finds no army, and he's just gonna siege up and carry on. The scan game. I think there's a Carbot animation about TVT scans. These SCVs are gluttons for punishment, and they will all fall in their attempts to return to mining. Bit unfortunate. Marines from Lanfear are moving out. I think Terran Lord might just move forward, like stim forward. Oh, he's actually gonna go home. He realizes there's very likely a threat at his base, since there's army missing, and those Marines are going to stim forward and maybe get this third. Yes, they will indeed. They're gonna have to run away now, as Terran Lord has more medevacs. And now things are very ugly for Lanfear. I feel like Terran Lord just keeps making these CCs and they just keep dying, but it doesn't matter, because he's also making army, and also killing army, and all these other things. Like, how many times has he remade a CC in this game? I'm not really sure, but, I mean, he remade this once, he remade this twice. Okay, kind of wonky engagement happening in the middle of nowhere. Siege tank is a little bit exposed, but it's closing off the tank, so Lanfear cannot engage here. Lanfear, you're in a lot of trouble. There are a lot of Marines here, and he will lose all of his attacking army. His reinforcements are going to bunch up at the top of this ramp, but there's a lot of green and not a lot of orange. Lanfear is going to realize that, go home, but okay, Lanfear has decided to wave that white flag, and Terran Lord will win the PsiX Diamond in Clan tourney, 3-0. Alrighty then. That concludes the PsiX MVD Cup for the month of May. Let me see some announcements before I go. Tomorrow, there are many clan wars yet again. One is the ATL EU Amateur EU Division, and that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At the same time, there will also be the Yankee Division, which will, for the same team league, ATL EU Amateur. Then later on, 1 hour later, in fact, there will be some sort of Pro League best of 5 with Loco, but not exactly sure on this format. It looks like a bunch of best of 3s in which winner gains a point for their team. That's going to be mostly Diamond Master, or all Diamonds and Masters, or 3 Diamonds, 2 Masters. Wow, I'm really good at explaining this. Yeah, those are all the events for Saturday, Sunday. There will be another, it's the Tawat. Oh, the Tawat finals for, against Cloud M. So that will be Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard as well. Anyway, that concludes the stream. I will see you guys later. Good job to Terran Lord. And byes.